Wake up to reality. Nothing ever goes as planned in this accursed world. The longer you live, the more you will realize that the only things that truly exist in this reality are merely pain, suffering, and futility. Listen. Everywhere you look in this world, wherever there is light, there will always be shadows to be found as well. As long as there is a concept of victors, the vanquished will also exist. The selfish intent of wanting to preserve peace initiates wars, and hatred is born in order to protect love. There are nexuses, causal relationships that cannot be separated.
Take it you're here to retrieve your brother? Just how do you plan on pulling an entire human out of here? What's your payment? Do you intend to offer your own body?
Yeah, I've got your payment right here. So go ahead and take it. This thing is my portal of truth. So I get to make the decision on how it's used. Is that right?
It's come to that. And you're sure about this? You do realize that you'll never be able to perform alchemy again without your portal.
I'm aware of that. This portal, I know it contains every secret alchemy has to offer. However, it's also led me astray. I saw the truth that lies within it. I became convinced I could solve everything with alchemy. But I couldn't possibly have been more wrong. That was just arrogance.
You're willing to cast it aside, to lower yourself to a simple human?
What do you mean, lower myself? That's the only thing I've ever been. Just a simple human that couldn't save a little girl. Not even with alchemy.
You're sure you'll be all right without it? Think carefully now.
Full metal!
Edward!
Edward Elric!
Ed!
Who even needs alchemy when I've got them?
You've done it! That's the right answer! Good job! You beat me! Go ahead! Take him home!
The back door's right over there! Goodbye, Edward Elric!
Once, the Land of Fire and the Hidden Leaf had grown too big. To protect their national interests, they forced feudal clans to wage war against each other, and profited from it. Otherwise, the people of the villages would have starved. As it happened, our little nation and its villages became the battlefield where the great nations waged their war. Each time they did, our nation was ravaged and laid to waste. After many such battles, the great nation stabilized, but our smaller nation suffered, and it barely recovered. You and I are both seeking the very same thing. We both want to achieve the peace that Jiraiya-sensei envisioned. You and I are the same. We're both motivated by our desire for peace and justice. The justice that I have delivered against the Leaf Village is no different from what you are trying to do to me. Everyone feels the same pain when losing something dear. You and I have both experienced that pain. You strive for your justice, and I strive for mine. We're both just ordinary men who have been driven to seek vengeance in the name of justice. And if one comes to call vengeance justice, such justice will only breed further vengeance and trigger a vicious cycle of hatred. Right now, we live in such a cycle. I know the past and can foretell our future. It is the same as our history. So we believe that human beings simply cannot understand each other, and they never will. The shinobi world of ours is ruled by hatred, and hatred alone. So, Naruto, how would you confront this hatred in order to create peace?
I hate nice girls. Just exchanging hello makes me nervous. Texting just makes it even worse. If I get a call, then for the rest of the day I'll keep checking my phone history with a wide grin on my face. But I know the truth. They're just being kind. Anyone kind to me is also kind to others. I always end up nearly forgetting that. If reality is cruel, then a lie is kindness. And so, kindness itself is a lie. I'd always hold expectations and I'd always misunderstand. And at some point I just stopped hoping. An experienced loner doesn't fall for the same trick twice. As a veteran on this battlefield of life, I'm an expert at losing. That's why I will always hate nice girls.
Youth is a lie. It is nothing but evil.
This one out.
Those who look to rejoice in their youth deceive themselves and those around them, accepting in full the circumstances that devour them. In the face of the great and reverend word youth, they will twist any common interpretation or accepted notion out of recognition. In their minds, lies, secrets, sins, and even failure are nothing more than the spice of youth. If failure is truly the designated mark of one's youth, then would it not be considered abnormal for one not in his youth to still fail at befriending anyone? But I'm sure none of them would admit to that being true. They only define youth to their own benefit. In conclusion, I leave you with this. All you fools who delight in youth, drop dead.
The perfect being, you said? Well, I have to tell you the honest truth as I see it. In this world, nothing perfect exists. It may be a cliché after all, but it's the way things are. That's precisely why ordinary men pursue the concept of perfection. It's infatuation. But ultimately, I have to ask myself, what is the true meaning of being perfect? And the answer I came up with was nothing. Not one thing. The truth of the matter is, I despise perfection. If something is truly perfect, that's it. The bottom line becomes, there is no room for imagination. No space for intelligence, or ability, or improvement. Do you understand? To men of science like us, perfection is a dead end, a condition of hopelessness. Always strive to be better than anything that came before you, but not perfect. Scientists agonize over the attempt to achieve perfection. That's the kind of creatures we are. We take joy in trying to exceed our grasp, in trying to reach for something that, in the end, we have to admit, may in fact be unreachable. In other words, you may think that we operate on the same level, but you're wrong. The moment you started talking about perfection, you embraced an impossible concept, and it already lost to me. That is, of course, if you are indeed a scientist at all.